Sergei Bodrov comes the epic story of the boy who became a king and of the man who became the most powerful ruler the world has ever known.
Hello and welcome to Leggy's Reviews. Today on the show I'm reviewing Mongol on DVD. This is a foreign film, straight up. It's all in Mongolian. It's directed by Sergei Bodrov, which the trailer says he's acclaimed. I've personally never heard of him, never seen any of his other movies. This was the first venture into his cinematic sort of idea of things. So let's go right into the story before I start saying anything else. This movie is pretty much the rise of Genghis Khan, the Mongolian leader, okay? Now, it starts off with this character, Tarmudin, who's a kid in, about the first, maybe 20, 30 minutes of the film. And it pretty much shows how he becomes the Khan of his clan. The Khan is like the leader, okay? At a very young age, he becomes the Khan of his clan, and his clan betrays him. So he's pretty much a loner for most of his years, at least until he grows up. And on his travels as a young child, he meets this other Mongolian named Jamuka, I believe it is. And they make a blood pact, so now they're blood brothers. And pretty much several years later, after they've both grown up and whatnot, Tarmudin pretty much goes back to Jamuka and says, listen, I need help, I need to get my clan back. And, through a series of events and some betrayal and whatnot, you have pretty much Tarmudin and Jarmuka going at it. You have that, little love story in between Tarmudin and his wife, who he picked from a very young child. So it was one of those kind of, not really arranged marriages, but it was something that happened at a very young age. So his love interest is constantly throughout the film, and she's always getting caught or something, and he's always going to save her and things like that. And then, eventually it comes to this big cinematic sort of battle between Tarmudin and Jarmuka because something ends up going wrong and whatnot, and they end up going at each other's throats. Overall, the film was alright. I thought it was pretty boring. The reason I thought it was pretty boring was because watching the trailer, I thought, okay, this can be an interesting foreign film, something that'll present a story with that median of some action, some great cinematic epic battles in the middle of Mongolia, and it definitely did not deliver on that. It definitely gave me a biography. I learned a lot about Genghis Khan, who is Tarmudin, right? You learn a lot about Genghis Khan, the rise of Genghis Khan, and then it's like, okay, what about his epic battles? They're nowhere to be seen, and they're too far and in between the really, really slow parts. They seem to focus a lot more on his relationship with his wife and the relationship with him and his Mongolian comrades. However, one thing I really did like about the film is you got these big, giant, sweeping landscapes in the middle of Mongolia. And you have this great sense of symbolism throughout the film where Sergei Bodrov will focus on certain aspects of the film. So he'll focus on the raindrops, or he'll focus on, for example, a wolf who's kind of circling his prey at one point. And it's just little cinematic things like that kind of that really interested me in the film. That's aside from the the little action that was in there. Overall, this film was nothing spectacular. If you're going to watch a foreign film, I would suggest watching The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, or even District 13. But I would definitely not recommend this for a foreign film, especially if you're not in a really serious mood. But I do have to say, I do have to give credit to this film. It was nominated for Best Foreign Film back in 2007 for an Oscar. I don't believe it won, but it was nominated, and you know what, it definitely did deserve the nomination, but I definitely don't feel that it's a movie that I can keep on my shelf and watch over and over again. So I would definitely not recommend this film, and I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Thanks for joining me here on Leggy's Reviews. Join me next time when I review X-Men First Class.